Hello class, this is Scott Caruso with my week 3 reflection video for MDF2 1304. This week, similar to last week, went very well, I thought. And just in general, I'm starting to feel more like I'm not just getting lucky per se, but I'm actually really starting to understand the concepts, and I have such a solid grasp on Objective-C now that these projects are just coming easier and easier, and I'm having fewer and fewer problems debugging and working through issues in the code, and I'm actually just having fewer issues, period, with the code. I was done with this week's assignment early-ish in the night on Wednesday night, which is, typically Wednesday is the night that I'm cramming to try to get done because I can't usually start working on assignments till later in the evening due to my schedule. But I was done Wednesday night this week, which was fantastic. That's 2 weeks in a row now that I've been done on Wednesday night, and I'm really enjoying this feeling of understanding what I'm doing and advancing through it. We'll talk through the code here in a second. Let me just show you the application real quick. It does what I'm sure everyone else's do as well. It's got the 3 icons. You can view your photo library by tapping on the bottom. It shows photos and videos in the library there. You can take a video by tapping that one, and you can access the camera by tapping the top one. If you select a photo or take a picture, take a video, it takes you to a sub-view. One neat thing here is if you're actually just viewing a picture, you do not get the save button. Actually, there's a save button there that gets hidden. However, if you record a video or a photo, you actually get a save button that then saves it to your library. So let's go take a look at the code, and I'll show you some areas where I think it could have improved. So here we are looking at the code that I wrote for this week, and I'm starting right here on an area that I feel like I could have improved on. I've got an IB action here for clicking one of the buttons on the main page, tapping one of the buttons on the main page, and I use a switch case, which is fine and well and good. However, if you look here, I'm actually statically setting the location of the popovers that you saw come up in the application rather than setting them more dynamically based on the locations of the buttons. This was a decision made more based on time and me not wanting to get bogged down in details of something that wasn't part of the requirements for this week. But given more time to explore, I would have tried to come up with a way to make these popovers actually display dynamically based on the location of the button that was pressed, rather than simply statically placing them the way that I've done here. I'm happy with the way it turned out and the way it looks, but I just wish it was done in a more clean, more modular manner that could be reused in future layouts and iterations of this of an application such as this. I'm happy with the rest of the code for the most part for how this works. Let me hop over to the image view real quick. So this is the code for the actual view, the view that I showed you where you've got the save, cancel, and picture buttons. Another thing you'll see here is that I've got a lot of code that looks very similar to other code that I've written. I probably could have also done a bit better job to create a single method that could be reused based on different parameters, but instead I hard-coded a few things, the same thing a couple of different times, again in the name of meeting the requirements and keeping it as functional as possible and not risking any kind of breakage. It does really basic things, like you see here. There's a movie label. If we go to the XIB, you can see if it'll ever open. Go to the XIB, you can go to the XIB, you can see there is actually a label. It's hidden by default that pops up if there's a video to save. It pops up instead of these image views. One other thing I would have done to have made it cleaner was I started with a storyboard and then added an XIB later. In hindsight, I probably would have just done 2 XIBs, one for the main view and then one for the secondary view. But I didn't want to mess with the code after I've gotten so far into the storyboard. I was pretty deep into the code when I realized that was a pretty stupid decision that I had made. It still works. It's just switching between storyboards and nibs is just not. It's inconsistent, and the QA background that I've got is telling me that No, that's a terrible way to do it. Be consistent, you jerk. That's actually what I said to myself. But still, the code works. It does exactly what it's supposed to do, and I'm happy with the way it turned out for this week. I hope everyone else had a good week 3, and I will talk to you again during week 4. Thank you.